Hello friends, welcome to the Trading Temple channel. Today we're going to analyze the Aptos coin. Many people have asked about the situation with Aptos and where it's headed. Recently the price has dropped sharply and we saw a decline that happened last Friday after a liquidation event of nearly $19 billion. That money was lost by traders who were using leverage, and this caused the price of Aptos to fall so dramatically. This means that those who had taken long positions, for example in a coin like Aptos in these areas, were all liquidated and lost their money with this sharp move as the price dropped to nearly $1.50. Now, what's important for Aptos? We had talked about Aptos before, saying that it was below this trend line, and for nearly 10 months it had been under this trend line. We said that if it breaks out, it would become very bullish, but still, it depends on the market. We saw that when it did break out, Aptos was performing very well. If you look at the volume, it was gradually moving upward, giving hope that it could break out and move toward higher targets. But unfortunately, regarding Bitcoin, I had talked about Bitcoin before, saying that when Bitcoin surpasses its all-time highs, it needs to enter a range or form a flag there so that it can give altcoins a breather and allow them to move up. But even though Bitcoin hit new all-time highs, its price dropped sharply from nearly $125,000 down to $105,000. This caused Aptos's price to fall as well, from around $5.50 down to about $1.50. This is really unfortunate for those who are long-term investors in Aptos. Most of them lost a lot of money in this coin. In fact, most altcoins, not just this one, have dropped by about 80% or 90% without any significant upward movement. Now, after this happened and the price fell back below the trend line, you can see it picked up momentum and dropped even further. It even lost the support level we had talked about, around $4, and the next support level we had in mind was the lowest price Aptos had ever reached, which was around $3. The price dropped sharply to that level but managed to close its candle back above $3. What's important for Aptos right now in its current situation is that it needs to get back above this resistance I've drawn here, which is around $4. If it can get back above this resistance, meaning if it can recover from here and move above this resistance, it's not 100% bullish, but we could say there's a 40 to 50% chance to be bullish on Aptos, and its price might even go up to around $5.50. That's because we see a very large gap here, and these gaps usually need to be filled, and then the price might drop again. But as I said, what's important now is for the price to first get back above this resistance. If it can do that, it's very good. If it gets rejected here, which it seems to have been rejected now, as you can see in the 4-hour time frame, Aptos, after dropping to $1.50 and bouncing back up, hasn't been able to break through the $4 area. You can see it's tested this resistance once, twice, 3 times, and hasn't been able to move higher, and now the price is moving down toward $3, which is the next support level. For now, in my opinion, the most important thing is for Aptos to be able to break through this multi-month resistance, which is actually a very strong resistance, and move above it. And when it does break through and goes up, if it wants to stay bullish during the pullback, it needs to test this level as a support and hold it. If it loses this level and the price drops below, it shows that it was just a fake out, and the likelihood of the price dropping further increases significantly. What's important is that if it breaks this resistance, it should be able to hold this level and move higher. And if we look at the weekly time frame, we can see that Aptos, after forming a candle that went down, managed to close the candle back above $4 with its rebound. There are still 3 days left for this week's candle to close. If this weekly candle can close above this resistance, it could be very bullish. We're about 50 or 60% bullish on this as long as it holds this level. And the next level that Aptos needs to hold is this support at $3. If it loses the $3 level, things could get really bad for Aptos. Usually after these kinds of liquidations happen, the price tends to enter a range. If you look at a similar situation here, when the price dropped sharply, it entered a range and then continued its way down. For Aptos, it's important to get back above this resistance to show that it won't enter a range. A range usually looks like this. The price slowly moves like this here, gradually going down, and then in the next move, Aptos could even go as low as around $2. Let's also take a comprehensive look at the total market capitalization. This is indeed the total market cap of the entire crypto market. As we have previously discussed before, we said that if it genuinely doesn't hold the crucial level it's currently at, usually in the dynamic crypto space, we're in a significant situation now where Bitcoin, Ethereum, and even the overall total market cap absolutely need to hold the critical levels they're presently at. This is basically the very last and most important level. If they truly can't hold these essential levels, there's a very strong and considerable chance that the entire crypto market could potentially enter a prolonged bear market. Altcoins are usually already in a bear market right now, but it's possible that Bitcoin and also Ethereum could enter a bear market as well. This is a level you should keep an eye on. In the total market cap, excluding Bitcoin, you can see that when the price went up and came back down, it broke this resistance and now it's testing it as support. And this level needs to be maintained so that the price can move higher. And in the total market cap, excluding both Bitcoin and Ethereum, the situation is the same. You can see that right now the price has bounced back to this support and it's testing this support. If this support doesn't hold and the price drops below it, this support will become very weak. If we take a look at the Bitcoin chart, Bitcoin is in the same situation. It's at its last support level. It has a long-term trend line that's been in place for several years, and this trend line has been maintained as well as this support level. And here you can see that the 200-day moving average is also present in this area, and this moving average has also been maintained. It's possible that the price could drop and create a fake out, shaking some people out of the market again, and then return above the range. This is also good. It could be a liquidation in Bitcoin, liquidating those who had long positions in these areas, and then the price could continue on its way upward. But as you can see, the situation is very tough, and all these support levels that I explained need to hold for there to be any hope for altcoins to go up. Otherwise, if these levels are lost, there won't be much hope, and it will become very difficult for altcoins. Let's also take a look at Bitcoin dominance. What's interesting about Bitcoin dominance, and really the only hope I see right now, is that after the liquidation that happened on Friday, the price was strongly rejected at this area and came down, forming a V-shaped pattern. If we flip the chart, we can clearly see that a nice V has formed. What does that mean? It means there's a resistance here and it could go down, which would be good for altcoins because when Bitcoin dominance usually drops, it's good for altcoins. This is the chart flipped where you can see that a V has formed. Usually in these kinds of situations where such liquidations happen, like in this part, you'll notice that the price enters a range and continues on its path. But in the situation we just had, the price was strongly rejected and has come back up, meaning it's now testing below this resistance again, and there's a possibility that it will continue on its path and move to the next area here. That was today's video about Aptos and a bit of market talk, and we also took a look at Bitcoin. I'd be happy if you like and subscribe, and don't forget, trading is never a sure thing. Everything is based on probability. And don't forget, I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. Until the next video, take care.